The topic for the day is current research conducted in specialty subject. Whatever the specialty subject you are in, so we are going to discuss the current research which is in that specialty subject. So basically there are some common subjects which we need to discuss. After that we will go to specific subjects. First one, there are 8 type of research that is conducted in homeopathy as of now. First one is fundamental research. Okay, what is fundamental research? Fundamental research is the main research where uh, the general information is collected, not specific information. General information about the topic is collected. Okay, that is a fundamental research. So what are all the different fundamental research that are conducted as of now in homeopathy? First one is characterization of nanoparticles. We are working on nanoparticles. So what is the structure of nanoparticle? What is the size of nanoparticle? What are the concentration of nanoparticle in homeopathic dilution? That is the first one we are going to see. Next one is pharmacokinetics of nanoparticles. In pharmacokinetics, there is no much research. Only simple research is available from non-homeopathic research. So basically, the nanoparticles are observed through phagocytosis and phenocitosis. That is the simple research we have. There is no much research in this area. Next one is pharmacodynamics of nanoparticles. So hormesis is the principle everyone is discussing about, and there are some pharmacodynamic activities that are conducted in liver cells, liver cell lines, and bone cancer cell lines. These are the common ones. Now it is done. Next one is physicochemical principles of trituration and succussion. So the scientists are working on what is shear stress, turbulent flow, rotational eddies, energy cascade, cavitation, froth flotation, and serial dilution. These are the latest topics where scientists are working on. Next one is standardization of trituration and succussion. So what homeopaths are doing is everyone is using their own style of trituration and succussion. There are no standards for that. Scientists have started working, and there are some mechanical tools for trituration and succussion. They are trying to standardize them. Next one is trituration and succussion without serial dilution. Major update in homeopathy as of now is, so the major controversy is there are no particles in the final medicine because of dilution. So many scientists believe that the effect of higher dilutions is due to succussion, not due to dilution of the medicine. So what they are proposing is, without diluting the medicines, you just do succussion. That will be good, and you will have particles at the end. So that is the latest research that is happening as of now. Next one, physicochemical basis for presence of nanoparticles in higher dilution. So why even though homeopathic medicines are highly diluted, why do we have nanoparticles? If they are so much diluted, still why we are seeing the nanoparticles? That is the question scientists are addressing. For that, they are concentrated on froth flotation, where bubbles are formed during succussion, and these bubbles take the nanoparticles to upper part of the bottle, and where you pour that upper part only into another bottle before making the next dilution. That's the reason even at higher dilutions, even at beyond Avogadro number, you are seeing the nanoparticles. That is the reason this research is also being conducted as of now. So one more important thing they have done is rejecting unscientific claims. There are a lot of unscientific claims about homeopathy. There is water memory or epistaxy theory, Clatherian formation, quantum physical, silica hypothesis, molecular imprinting technology. These are various technologies. People are assuming that the homeopathy medicines are going to work, but this is not true. Scientists are clearly now saying that it is nanoparticles. All these water memory rejected unscientific claims about homeopathy. Next, coming to applied research in homeopathy. So what is happening is, first one is pathogenetic trial. This pathogenetic trial are conducted by CCRH. Pathogenetic trial is a randomized trial. It is placebo controlled trial, and it is done on healthy individuals for proving the drug by CCH. This is the randomized placebo controlled healthy individuals are used in this trial. It is of two types. One is proving the new drugs and reproving of the existing drugs. These are the two things that are done as of now in homeopathic pathogenetic trial. Next one is clinical research. In clinical research, there are a lot of things are happening. One is RCT and other is observational trials. These are the two common trials. So these are the common trials performed on the diseased condition. Okay, this is performed on the disease condition in homeopathy. So CCRH has high number of studies based on these two designs. Okay, RCT and observational trials. We can see many clinical trials that are being conducted by CCRH. Okay, so what is randomized clinical trial conducted by CCRH? First one is randomized clinical trial, the trials that are conducted by CCH, and also very less common in PG thesis. Most of the people doesn't do randomized trial in PG thesis, but observational trial conducted by CCRH, and most of the PGs who are doing MD in homeopathy are adapting this design. This is not completely observational trial. You can say semi-observational trial, where you give medicine to the patient and you watch the patient. So that is not completely observational trial. You can say that semi-observational trial. Basically, it is a single-armed quasi trial. We call it as, but in CCRH and regularly we call it as observational trial. This is a common trial run by PG thesis. Okay. Next one is preclinical research. What is happening in preclinical research? Preclinical research means before giving the medicine to the human beings, the research we do on animals or in computer is known as preclinical research. It is of three types. You can say in silico, in vitro, in vivo. Okay, in silico means research conducted on drug design using computer simulations and model without any animal. Here animals are not used. Computer simulations and computer models are used for creating for studying the drug. Okay, next one is in vitro research conducted outside the living organism. When there is an animal, we do outside the animal. What we do is we take a part of the animal, like we take a single cell, or we take some tissue, or we take an organ, or we completely take out an organ system and apply the drug to it. That is known as in vitro. Next one is in vivo. In vivo is we take the animal and introduce the drug into that animal. So research conducted inside the living animal by introducing the drug into the animal is in vitro studies. These are the three studies which we do preclinically. Next important thing is agrohomeopathy. Agrohomeopathy is growing very rapidly. Basically, what is agrohomeopathy? We need to understand two things. What is plant science and agriculture? Plant science deal with prophylaxis of the disease, diagnosis of the disease, treatment of the disease in plants. That is plant sciences. What is agriculture? Deals with cultivation, management, care, production of crops and other plant-based resources. This is known as agriculture. Okay, so what research is being conducted as of now in agriculture or agrohomeopathy? Health of plants through prophylaxis and treatment. Okay, you can give prophylaxis and treatment. Improve the productivity of food, fiber, fodder and other plant products. So these are all the major research that are conducted as of now in agriculture, that is known as agrohomeopathy. Next one is veterinary homeopathy. Veterinary science deals with health, prophylaxis of the animal, diagnosis of the animal, treatment of diseases in animals. Okay, and what is animal husbandry? Animal husbandry deals with breeding, feeding, housing, management and care of animals for production. You are producing the animals in larger scale, that comes under animal husbandry. These are the two places where research is happening. So what is the what applications are being developed as of now in this is, first one is for the health of animals through prophylaxis and treatment. Okay, we are treating the animals and we are giving prevention medicines to the animals, maybe some pet dog or horses or something like that. And also to improve the productivity of milk, meat, eggs, wool and other animal products. Currently the research is being conducted on these lines. Next one is educational research. What type of educational research is being conducted in homeopathy? New teaching technologies for learning. Okay, uh, old technologies no one is using, everyone is coming to a new technology. Use of technology like digital libraries, simulations and animations. Importantly, two things. One is virtual reality and augmented reality. So what is virtual reality? Technology that creates completely artificial digital environment that the user experiences. So you are wearing some VR glasses and environment around you is changed. So that is known as virtual reality. What is augmented reality? The technology that adds digital object information to the real world environment. So you are in a room, maybe you can have the technology so that another person sitting at some other place is in your room. That is known as augmented reality. These are the two technologies that are being emerged in educational research. Next important one is competency based dynamic curriculum. This is introduced in many of the countries and many of the educational institute. What is competency based dynamic curriculum? So educational system in which students progress by mastering the skills. Mastering the skills means competency. What is meant by competency? CBDC, competency based dynamic curriculum. Competency means mastering the skills, not only just sitting at one place and studying and writing the exams. So it is more of hands-on experience. That's what competency means, with regularly updated syllabus. Okay, what is regularly updated? It is not they print the syllabus and give it to you for generations together, you follow the same syllabus. The syllabus will be continuously updated every year or whenever necessary. That is known as dynamic syllabus. Okay, that's the reason word dynamic used. Competency means mastering skills, dynamic means regularly updated. These are the meaning of, these are the research that is being conducted in homeopathy for education. Next, this one is important. This is taken from the CCRH website. CCRH, what activities are performed by CCRH? There are 9 activities are being performed by CCRH. First one is survey, collection, cultivation of medicinal plants. So there are a lot of land CCRH has taken in various places, and they are researching on medicinal plants cultivation. There are herbal gardens, there are wildlife gardens established by CCRH. That is the first research they are doing. Next one is drug standardization. Drug standardization is all about adding the new drugs to pharmacopoeia or reviewing the existing drugs to pharmacopoeia. And also there are 2 tests performed, right? Purity test and identity test. Purity test and identification test. So this purity test and identification test are of 3 types normally. So that is physical test, optical test, and chemical test. All these tests are being regularly updated. Whenever the new pharmacopoeia comes, these are updated. That research is also being done on standardization. Next one is drug proving. Drug proving, CCRH is very keen. It is doing homeopathic pathogenetic trial. Homeopathic pathogenetic trial is done both on existing drugs and also new drugs. Once it is successful, it is given to the patients. Once homeopathic pathogenetic trial is done, so that trial has to be evaluated clinically. That is clinical verification. Clinical verification is also a research done on homeopathic drugs after drug proving or homeopathic pathogenetic trial, where the medicine is given to the patients in the real world and they are checking whether the medicine is acting for the intended purpose or not. That is clinical verification. Next one is clinical research. Clinical research, we know there are 2 types of clinical research being mostly done by CCRH. One is RCT, randomized clinical trial, where the patients are randomized by chance or randomized to one of the treatment arms, and the research is conducted. Clinical trials is based on particular disease condition. Here in pathogenetic trial, homeopathic drug proving or pathogenetic trial, we are giving the patient a particular drug. Here in clinical research, here we are treating a particular disease condition. So common research is RCT, randomized controlled trial, and next common one is observational trial. It is not completely observational, I can say semi observational trial, where it is a quasi trial with one arm. Okay, that these are the 2 types of research conducted by CCRH under the group of clinical research. Next one is fundamental or collaborative research. This is very important. CCRH has been collaborated with world famous research institutions both in India and abroad. So best example would be IIT Mumbai. In IIT Mumbai, they are conducting lot of research on fundamental topics of homeopathy like nanoparticles. So pharmacodynamics of nanoparticles, pharmacokinetics of nanoparticles, standardization of nanoparticles, and various theories of nanoparticles. And also what they are doing as of now is they are giving importance to pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics of nanoparticles, and also importance to what are the best ways or standardization of trituration succussion. So as of now we are doing different companies or different students do trituration or succussion in different ways, but they are trying to standardize it through fundamental and collaborative research. So epidemic research, this is one of the important research. We have genus epidemicus, right? Whenever there is an epidemic in the country like COVID, so group of scientists come together and propose a drug. We have done that for COVID and other diseases in the past. Even for dengue, we have done epidemic research. And public health programs, there are lot of public health programs done and research done on child mother program or something like that. So any specific area, any specific program, they are doing under public health programs. And literary research means CCRH is coming up with a lot of books and also lot of journals, lot of articles. All these come under literary research. These are the different types of research conducted by CCRH. And the final one is eighth one. So here we are concentrating about the specialty subject. In pharmacy, what are all the research that are done? So maybe if you are from repertory, you can replace this section with if anyone is writing the new repertory or updating the new repertory, you can add here. Or if anyone is writing materia medica, new materia medica, or updating existing materia medica, you can add at this section. So I am here taking about the research in specialty subject of homeopathic pharmacy. First one is pharmacopoeia. Okay, in pharmacopoeia, what they are doing, they are regularly updating the monograph. When new pharmacopoeia comes, they are doing two things. One is they are adding new drugs, new monographs, or existing the monographs of previous drugs. That is also research. So and also identity test and purity test. Identity test and purity test are updated in every new pharmacopoeia. So what are all those tests? Physical tests, optical tests, and chemical tests related to identification and purity of either raw drug materials or prepared drug materials, and also chemicals and reagents that are used in making these drugs. So all this research come under pharmacopoeia, research under pharmacopoeia. Next important thing done by our government is very important to us, pharmacovigilance, that is adverse drug effect. As we know, we previously think that homeopathy medicine doesn't have side effects, but research says homeopathy medicines have adverse drug reaction. To report them, Ministry of Ayush, what Ministry of Ayush in collaboration with WHO. So our Ayush program or Ayush Suraksha, what we are doing is Ministry of Ayush in collaboration with World Health Organization conducting research on updating concepts of pharmacovigilance in homeopathy. What is that? Ayush Suraksha. Ayush Suraksha is entire ecosystem for Ayush to report adverse drug reaction. Whatever the adverse drug reaction, we are reporting it, and also misleading advertisements and objectionable advertisements. So these are the three things. One is adverse drug reactions are being reported, misleading advertisements are being reported, and objectionable advertisements are being reported. This is highly innovative, technologically intense research project taken under Ayush Grid. Ayush Grid means this is a scientific project taken care by Ministry of Ayush. What this contains is Ayush Grid is the IT platform for Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Saurikpa, and Homeopathy. So whatever the IT projects that are taken care by Ministry of Ayush comes under Ayush Grid. Ayush Grid is an IT project. It is highly research oriented and technology intensive program taken care by Ayush Ministry. These are all the topics we have covered about current research condition in specialty subject. Thank you.